I'm Oral Hershiser, and I am on Blue Review. Hey, this is Sean Green. You're watching the Blue Review.
Um,
Bum,
um,
bum, bum,
um,
bum.
um,
Ring! Hey!
Hey, laser.
Lasers are for winners. Yeah. The Dodgers
Haven't
finally
said
break
that in a
their
while.
they break their losing streak after 4 games. A 4-0 win over the San Francisco Giants. Welcome everybody to the Blue Review presented by LAX. I'm Marcus Grant. That is Greg Bergman. Greg, it's been 84 years since the Dodgers last won a baseball game. I know I'm exaggerating. It just feels that way, but it's nice, at least for one day, to kind of get off the schneid and see this team get a win.
It did feel nice, and it was with the craziest lineup that they've put out this season. And so it was bound to happen that they were going to actually score runs for Shohei Ohtani.
Oh man, that was wild. We will dive into all of that. The offense finally showing up for the first time in a while. Shohei being Shohei on the mound, absolutely, and shutting down the Giants. We'll get into that. And the series finale is today, so we'll kind of preview a little bit of that as well. But first, do want to let you know that the Blue Review is powered by LAX. LAX is preparing for a huge win against traffic. The Skylink train is currently in testing to ensure it's a fast and reliable ride to every terminal. For more information, you can visit lawa.org/ESPN. Let's start with the offense, because that's the thing that had sort of been missing for a little while. And yeah, they only scored 4 runs, but it felt like everybody had quality at bats up and down the lineup. And Greg, who knew that Santiago Espinal was the hero that we all deserved?
Santiago Espinal, who people were calling to be DFA'd, fixed the offense. Just remember that. It was Santiago Espinal that fixed the offense. No, but it did feel good to see them actually getting on base, getting hits, getting a couple of walks. But the fact was, there was consistently runners on base, and they were able to make it happen when it finally needed to happen. Sorry, it's still way too early in the coffee.
Hasn't kicked in yet.
It hasn't kicked in, but it was nice to see that guys like Kyle Tucker continuing to get hits. Mookie Betts getting a home run, first one since he's been back. So that's probably got to feel good for him. And also, it was a blast to right field or left field. Sorry.
Yeah.
And it was good. It was just good to see against a good pitcher too in Robbie Ray. So below 6 ERA, okay. Above 6 ERA, bad.
No way. Right. Exactly. It's just, yeah, I don't really understand it. And for whatever reason, this team just hits Ray really well. I mean, last year they lit him up a few times. Last night they got him for 4 runs. I joked in our text chain that either they would get shut out or they would get him out of there by the 4th. I was close. They knocked him out in the 5th. He went 4 2/3, I believe it was. Yeah, 4 2/3 yesterday. It felt good. Now, if we're going to nitpick, and that's sometimes what we do on this show, it would have been nice to see them score again after the 4th inning. It would have been nice if they had tacked on another run or two late in the ball game. But considering what it has been, and the fact that getting to 4 runs for this offense has been an issue lately, I'm not going to harp on that one too badly, because they needed that last night.
They needed to put up some runs. So again, you joked about that. I joked in the text chain that they were gonna, because this lineup is at what it was, weirdness all up and down with Call, Rojas, Espinal, moving guys all the way around. They were going to score 9 runs. So I was disappointed in them not getting 5 more runs after that 4th inning. But you're right. The runs, and they actually put some up, and hopefully that's something. We've been saying this a lot, but hopefully this is the impetus.
Hopefully. I will say this, maybe the best part of last night, the funniest part of last night to me, was Miguel Rojas getting a hit for the first time since like St. Patrick's Day, and not knowing, he didn't know what the celebration was when he got on first base. He was like,
Again, like kicked. What
Right,
do
like
we
Max Muncy's like
do?
kicking his foot in the dugout. Like, hey, come on, man, this is what you do. So that was really, really funny. That being said, obviously this is not going to be the lineup on a regular basis, right? Shohei is going to have the day off today, but he'll be back at the top of the lineup. Mookie probably moves back to the number 2 spot. By the way, Mookie was not supposed to play last night, and he was in the lineup. So does that mean he gets the day off today? I wonder. I don't know.
I wonder if with Shohei being off, I mean, I would think so. I think they want him to have rest days in between, so that because he is just coming back from the oblique, I don't know that for sure, but I would guess he'd be off today. But then you're kind of doing the same thing that you did last night when you had Mookie and Shohei out again.
Yeah.
It might be a little bit interesting. So I could see Mookie playing, but also he probably needs those days off at the beginning. You don't want to just like really put him directly into the fire that fast of playing over and over and over again. Let him rest a little bit. So I would be okay with both of them being out today.
Yeah, I got the feeling, and I don't know what happened in the clubhouse before the game yesterday. Was it Mookie saying to Dave Roberts, "Hey, I can go," or Roberts saying, "Hey, we need you"? Because I don't know that you'd want a lineup that had no Shohei, no Mookie, no Max Muncy. That's a lot to take out a lineup all on one day. Presumably, Muncy will be back in the lineup today. We know no Shohei, so maybe you get Mookie a rest day as well.
And I would also expect that Will Smith will probably be out of the lineup today.
Yeah.
Because Dalton Rushing is probably going to get a start here in the series because I don't think he has yet. So yesterday, with all the other changes and weirdness that they had yesterday, I was shocked to not see Rushing in the lineup, either at DH or at catcher. So I would expect Rushing to catch today, though.
Yeah, that makes sense. Plus, he's got to say hello to Jung-Hoo Lee again.
Exactly. I mean, if he doesn't play today, is that the Dodgers and Dave saying we're just going to keep you away from the Giants?
Maybe. I don't think they think that way. I think they want to get him work first of all, and I think secretly they sort of like that he tweaks the Giants a little bit, that he's tweaking opponents a little bit, as long as it doesn't spill over into anything big. I think they're going to be okay with that.
Do you think the Giants would hit Rushing?
I don't think so. I think it's all done.
I hope so. It should be done, and
it should be done.
Rivalry Giants Dodgers. Then what he said, whether it was meant that way or not, didn't matter. That's the way they took it. So
and then was it Logan Webb had a ball slip and hit Dalton Rushing in the ribs. So I think that put it all to bed. So we had a clean slate at this point. So
it's weird that I was actually disappointed that we're not going to see Logan Webb because he's on the IL, because they hit Logan Webb.
I know.
So they hit Robbie Ray, they hit Logan Webb. It would have been great.
It would have been great, but yeah, Webb working his way back. I know he was supposed to start throwing yesterday, maybe. I don't know, but they're not going to see him in this series at all. Other guys that are starting to hit. I mean, we talked about Kyle Tucker. Teoscar Hernandez starting to come to life a little bit too. Had 2 hits last night, drove in a run. It obviously, anybody who can contribute to this offense is going to be a welcome sight, but it is really good to see Teoscar starting to heat up again, because he's a guy that they're going to need. Was hitting in the 8th spot last night, moved up to 6. But it's nice to see Teoscar starting to heat up right now.
Yeah, love seeing Teoscar heat up, because he's somebody that you absolutely need to be hitting, because that's what he's here for. He is here for his offense. He's not really here for his defense, which was actually not been terrible. He's made some.
No, he had a really nice catch the other night.
He did. He's making nice catches. I think his routes are still a little bit weird, but the fact is that he's putting out more effort. He's using his speed more. And it's something that you just kind of forget that he did have speed, because he had the groin injury last year. So it's nice to see him getting some hits in whatever position. But the fact that he's up for being in the 8th spot or the 6th spot, that just shows you how deep the lineup is and how everybody has one goal in mind. And I think that's very important. So getting a couple of hits, good for Teo. And hopefully that keeps up. Him going back up, and I know we don't care about batting average as much, but getting up into like the 260s, 270s would be huge for him.
Just visually, it's a lot more pleasing to see the batting average kind of hanging out around there, as opposed to the 240s where he is right now. Yeah, definitely good. I think to your point too about him being willing to hit 8th, one of the things that has made this team, this group, really particularly special is the fact that guys are willing to put their egos aside and just do whatever it takes to help the ball club. When you have a group of guys that are as talented and as accomplished as this group, the fact that if Freddie Freeman's willing to move up and down the lineup where necessary, that Kyle Tucker understands he's not going well and he's able to move down, that Teoscar Hernandez understands he's not going well and is willing to move down to the number 8 spot in the lineup. I think that is part of what has made this group so special, and has made them so successful. Just understanding that even if you aren't getting it done, just do what you can to help the ball club, and somebody else hopefully along the way will kind of pick you up. And it's been really good to see. Hopefully it carries over now.
Well, yeah, absolutely. But I think you're spot on. That's what makes this team so different and so much better than everybody else, is that they have stars. It doesn't matter where they hit. Maybe Shohei's the only one, like, you're putting him in the one spot and that's about it. But everybody else is interchangeable. Like, Freddie is not always going to be in the 3 spot. He could be the 4, 5, 2. Like, he's going to be in the top of the lineup, but he's not going. He's going to move around. Will Smith has moved around. He's up in the 2. He goes down 4, 5. Same kind of things. Your top 5 basically stay there in some sort of order, but everybody else is interchangeable and moves to wherever they need that they're needed. And I do want to talk a little bit about Kyle Tucker. I was just trying to get all his numbers up, but over the last 15 days, the last 2 weeks, excuse me. He got 13 hits, 7 doubles, which he had a couple last night again. He's batting over 317, 1,000 OPS. He has the best OPS over the last 2 weeks on the team. There's not a lot of home runs, but it's the walks versus the strikeouts that are most impressive to me. He's got 9 walks to 7 strikeouts. So he's starting to become the Kyle Tucker that we know, that we expected when he got here. Not to the full extent of having the power and hitting the home runs. I think that will still come, but he's starting to get back into where he's supposed to be. And if you're making $60 million, that turns into like $110 million with the luxury tax, you have to produce, and he is starting to produce. So hopefully this is more of the norm moving forward and not what we saw at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, I mean, I was on Dodger territory last night with our pal Clint Pasillas, and he talked about this too, how since really the start of May, the start of this month, Tucker really has picked it up. You can even kind of go back to the end of April too, when he was really starting to put the ball in play more consistently. But he's had at least one hit in 9 of the 12 games they have played so far in the month of May. I think, to your point, the plate discipline has gotten a lot better. We're seeing far less chase. We're seeing far less swing and miss. And that is the Kyle Tucker that we were expecting to show up here. And yeah, the power numbers will eventually come. As long as he's putting the ball in play and he's hitting the ball hard, the home runs will start to show up at some point. But just the fact that he's looking more comfortable at the plate, and maybe he really is settling into that, that 5th spot in the lineup or wherever it is, are going to ultimately keep him. I think as long as he's sort of hitting, I wouldn't mess with it a whole lot, but it's looking more and more like the Kyle Tucker that we were hoping for when they announced the signing. So it's good.
I do wonder if it was just too much pressure on a new team, hitting behind Shohei, hitting in the 2 spot, having the reliance of being in that high batting order, that it just kind of, once he moved is when all those things happen, I think is telling. And so the fact that he's being in that 4 and 5 spot really has made a massive difference. I know he's still not at the space that everybody wants him to be, but these are all positives. I would rather him getting doubles and singles and just getting on base and walking and then striking out, swinging for the fences. He's still swinging that first pitch every single time, which is amazing for me, or 50% of the time. It's like, if you watch it and really just pay attention to that when he comes up, it is legitimately in 4 at-bats, he'll swing at the first pitch twice and not swing at the first pitch the other 2 times. You just don't know which one it is.
I was gonna say, like, have we figured out which one it is? Because it seems like, and you've mentioned this before, because I haven't paid super close attention, but it does seem like the times he swings at the first pitch are the times where in my head I'm like, don't swing at the first pitch. It's like, it's a couple guys on, the pitcher is struggling with command. You're just trying to either get the pitch count up or you put yourself in a favorable count. And those seem to be the times he swings at the first pitch. I'm like, what are you doing, man? It's like, let the guy throw the ball. So whatever.
So he's an interesting case, but it's at the same point, like at least he's starting to get better, and that's especially when there's other guys that are just not, and it'll be just interesting. I thought like, maybe it's just the eye test for me, but I thought Andy Paz was kind of struggling and like not getting. Besides the 3 home run game that he had, it felt like he wasn't playing as well as he was. But really, he's actually been over the same 2 weeks. 14 hits, 4 home runs, 10 RBIs. Now, obviously, 3 of those home runs came in one game, but the numbers are still up higher than I thought they were.
They are, it's strange because
it's a quiet one.
It's quiet, but also when he does things, he'll have like this one really loud game, and then he'll have a couple games where it's just there's not much happening. And I think that's sort of where it balances out. Like, instead of having, 1 hit 4 days in a row, he'll get 4 hits in one day and then, 1 and then maybe none or something like that. We've been going for 15 minutes. We haven't talked about the fact that Shohei Ohtani just continues to deal. Just absolutely. This new guy, they got him from Japan. I don't know if you heard. 7 shutout innings, 4 hits, 2 walks, 8 strikeouts, lowers the ERA to 0.82, which is just absurd to think about. The bat has struggled so far this year, but man, Greg, the pitching is just phenomenal.
Yeah, no, what he has done on the mound. If the season ended today, he is your Cy Young winner. And that's what he's been very focused on. And guys were saying it all off season, like, this is a different pitcher on the mound. This is a different Shohei than we've ever seen. He is so much more focused than we have ever seen from him on the mound. And it's a very different guy than we've ever seen as a Dodger, because what he did in the minor leagues down there in Anaheim, we just didn't really pay that much attention to. He did have a season when he was 4th in Cy Young voting, so he's done something along these lines. But right now, he's almost unhittable right now. Now, that's not obviously going to maintain, but the pitch mix that he uses and the way he attacks batters, he strikes out. He's consistently striking out 7 and 8 guys. He goes to 7 innings. What he is doing is nothing short of phenomenal. And think about this, Marcus. He had a .96 ERA, and then he only went down to a .82
right
after 7 innings of no-run ball. That's all you get this early in the season because you've been so good. You barely moved down. It's just kind of funny to me.
It is. No, it's the pitching equivalent of a guy who you start the season hitting 400, and it's hard to have the batting average move up, right? Unless you're getting 3 hits a game or something like that. That's kind of where he is from a pitching standpoint right now. And I mean, I'm looking at his lines so far for the year, and what is it? He's made 6 starts so far this season. He has given up 1 or 0 runs in 5 of the 6 starts.
Yeah, only 2 once, I think.
Yeah,
right?
Against the Astros,
yeah.
About a week ago. Somehow lost that game because the Dodgers could only score 1 run. That's the other part. They got him 4 runs last night. That never happens.
When you think about when you saw the lineup, how many runs did you really truly believe they were going to get with Shohei on the mound?
Oh, I really thought if they scratch out a run, that would be good. That's it.
For some reason, it was like, okay, we just completely flip it on its head, see what you can do to kind of get some runs. So I was happy that Shohei actually got some support. Yama didn't get any support the day before, but he also had some of his issues. But look, Shohei on the mound has been so fun to watch, and we talk about it a lot. But when he gets angry, he's just a different guy. He's like, oh, I'm just going to throw you these easy 99 mile per hour fastballs. And I was like, you know what? He gets mad. You got to hit off him, or guys like, that's it. No one's touching this. And just bang, 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 101, 102. Like, he's just throwing gas. He's really fun to watch at the plate, and he's really, really fun to watch on the mound.
Yeah. And there was a point last night that it's the 7th inning. He's either at that point, he's either nearing or maybe even over 100 pitches, and is still throwing sweepers at like 96. What are we doing here, man? That's just mind-boggling is what that is. It's amazing to watch him. I want to see how long this continues, because there will be at some point inevitably a kind of a blow up game in there, right? Somebody's going to get to him for a handful of runs, because it happens to everybody. But I'm curious how long he can sort of keep this going. I think Clint asked me last night. I'll ask you this: do you think the voters, let's just say he comes back to earth in some form, right? That the ERA gets over 1, that he's at a ghastly 1.92 or something like that.
Oh, terrible!
I know, right? Do the voters try to make a case to not vote for him? Do they think he's too much of a, is it too much Shohei, or do the voters get Shohei fatigue, or is it because he's doing a thing that we've never seen in our lifetime that maybe he gets more votes because of it?
I think it's the latter. I think he gets more votes because of it. He may not win. If he's around a 192, it will really depend on what Paul Skeens is doing. Because right now, and Jacob Mizorowski, those two are just on a whole nother level.
Mizorowski's just filthy right now.
There was a point yesterday where Paul Skeens, I believe, had like 6 straight strikeouts. He just was over and over, and I forgot who they played yesterday.
It was the Rockies, I think.
Yeah, it was the Rockies. Yeah. So he had like 6 straight strikeouts, and somebody came up and had to bunt to end the streak of strikeouts. Like it was, and he turns and he looks at him and he goes, "Nice bunt." And Mizorowski's doing the same thing. Mizorowski's throwing like 102 miles an hour at 96 pitches. It's what those two guys are doing. I think Shohei will get votes if he's around that, if he stays along this kind of pace. But he's going to be in a battle with those two guys. If he stays below a 1, he's the Cy Young. But those two guys are right there. So I think it will depend on what they do more so than what Shohei does, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that's probably fair. I saw something yesterday that I don't know if Skeens had 10 strikeouts yesterday. I think he did, which I said Paul Skeens had 10 strikeouts for the 4th time in his career. Jacob Mizorowski had 10 strikeouts for the 4th time this season. Like that's guys
that throw just unbelievably what they can do. Mizorowski, with the speed that he throws and how tall he is, those are scary pitchers. Those are going to be the new scary guys. Like you were always afraid of DeGrom when he was healthy. Like a Garrett Cole could have been that guy. If you want to go back to Randy Johnson, this is the new batch of guys that you're like, oh, do I really have to deal with him today? And at a different level too.
Yeah, Jacob Mizorowski. When I watch him. First off, because he is so tall and his arms and legs are so long, it's almost like he's handing the ball to the catcher. Like he's
right. Great point.
And then on top of it, he's throwing 102 miles per hour. I don't know how anyone would ever hit him ever, but we'll see. At some point, that I suspect the Dodgers may run into Mizorowski at some point this year. And Skeens, so we'll see.
If they somehow find a way to not see him in the regular season, they'll see one or both in the postseason.
Probably more Mizorowski than Skeens.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's early. It happens. This is a normal thing to happen with only like 40 some games, but they are right there. I mean, they're in 4th in their division.
The entire division's above 500.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Look, and both of those guys, they're going to face. I can't wait. See, that's a game that I would tune into. If there was like a Sunday night case, which they don't really do that on ESPN anymore, but it was a Sunday night baseball game where it was Brewers, Pirates, and it was Mizorowski versus Skeens, I would take time and watch that game.
For sure. Absolutely would. Tonight, series finale against the Giants rather. Dodgers trying to earn the split. It'll be Landon Roop going for the Giants. Emmett Sheehan on the mound for the Dodgers. What are you hoping to see from Sheehan tonight?
I just want to see a maintained velocity. That's what we've seen over from the beginning, from post preseason or spring training to why do we have to have different names for things?
I don't know. Everybody wants to be different now.
You want to be different, fine, but it makes my mind gets all messed up. But either way, since spring training, I want to see Emmett Sheehan just kind of maintain that velocity. This is a bad Giants lineup. I think we have to remember that this is a bad Giants lineup that has trouble getting on base and swings and misses a lot. So just take advantage of that, like the way that Shohei did. Don't let guys on base. I would love to see him go 6 innings and have somewhere around like 7 or 8 strikeouts and just kind of shut them down, because they're a bad offense. So I would love to see him exploit that and keep the velocity.
Yeah, I mean, ignore what happened in the first 2 games of this series. They scored 15 runs combined. That is not the Giants' offense, generally speaking. What we saw last night was a little bit closer to what it is. So hopefully Emmett Sheehan can keep him down. On top of that, hopefully the offense shows up again tonight. I mean, it was nice to see it last night. Now it's about putting it together consistently and scoring runs on a regular basis. So we will see. 7:10 first pitch tonight. We'll be back with you tomorrow to talk all about it and get you ready for a weekend series down in Anaheim.
Yeah. Well, if you remember last year, they went 0-6. They got 0-6 against them. So
still makes my brain itch. I don't really understand how that happened, but it is what it is. Anyway, stick around. The Sedano Cap Morning Extravaganza coming up right after us. Appreciate you hanging in there as always on a morning with us. Thanks to Tim for getting up early and doing production assistance with us as well. It's schedule release day for those of you who observe.
That's why I got my Raiders hat on. Let's go silver and black, baby.
I'm going to go out on a limb and tell you that they're going to play the Chiefs, Chargers, and Broncos twice this year.
Ooh, look at you.
I know.
I don't know. I mean, they may not get one of them. Twice, too. I bet you they do it twice.
Exactly. Anyway, that'll do it for this edition of the Blue Review presented by LAX. For Greg Bergman, I'm Marcus Grant. We'll see you tomorrow at 6:30 to 6:55 here on the ESPN LA YouTube channel.
See it.